Good morning, everyone. This is State Climatologist Gary McManus with your Mesonet Weather Report. Well, we're finally done with March, and I think it's a good thing because it wasn't really kind to the state of Oklahoma. We do have a new drought monitor map, and it's not pretty either. Let's take a look. Well, that big, large glob of red that you see from far southwest Oklahoma all the way up into, really up into north central Oklahoma, that's the extreme drought, and that is a big expansion of that category of drought. We also have some of that up in the Panhandle now, and of course we have that remaining over in east central and southeastern Oklahoma. And we also have a lot more severe drought, that tan color. So really just a tiny bit of the state not in drought in those abnormally dry conditions in southeastern Oklahoma. So hopefully the rain that we were promised this weekend or this weekend and this weekend came to fruition, and we get a little bit of relief next week. Since we are finally done with March, I thought I'd take a look back at some of the grim maps that we had from that unfortunate month. So the rainfall map for March from the Oklahoma Mesonet, you can see a large part of the northwestern half or so of the state, really less than an inch of rain. There were some places that got a little bit more, and only a few places down in southeastern and up in northeast Oklahoma had above 3 or 4 inches. So just a large area of the state with very little rainfall, including the western panhandle, which received no rainfall during the month. The departure from normal rainfall map for March from the Oklahoma Mesonet shows a good area of 1 to 2 inch deficits across north central down through southwest Oklahoma, but really almost the entire state is somewhere at least an inch or so above or below normal rather, and just a little bit of area up there in far northeast Oklahoma had a surplus for the month. The percent of normal rainfall map for March really pops out in those areas that had those big deficits. You can see basically the northwestern 2/3 of the state, less than 50% of normal. In fact, much of it's less than 25% of normal. Even a few places down to 0% of normal. Those are those unfortunate areas that receive no rainfall for the month. So just not kind at all to the state of Oklahoma. Now temperatures, there is your big story. You can see the average air temperature for each location at the Mesonet sites for March, and it's, not too bad. 56 through about 63, 64 as you go from northwest to southeast. On the departure from average temperature map for March, we can see that really the entire state was 7 to 9 degrees above normal. Some places 10 degrees above normal, but on average about 9 degrees above normal, and easily the warmest March on record, beating 2012's previous mark, just a little bit below that. How about we take a look at the April outlooks from the Climate Prediction Center. Now this is not shocking. They do see increased odds of above normal temperatures across the entire state of Oklahoma, but maybe a little bit of good news, they do see increased odds of above normal precipitation across all but far northwestern Oklahoma and the Panhandle, and especially down across the southeastern 2/3 of the state, where those odds are a little bit more elevated for above normal precipitation next month. Now, if you combine those outlooks with the drought we have now, we do see the Climate Prediction Center expecting drought improvement and actual removal in some areas across the basically the eastern 2/3 of the area. Unfortunately, they also expect drought to persist across the western third of the state and the Panhandle. So it was warm, record warm. It was very dry. We also had a record number of tornadoes with 20. So lots to talk about in March. Let's hope April gives us better news. That's it for this time. We'll see you next time on the Mesonet Weather Report.